not in the news because I'm here. I'm in the news because the Democratic Party is here. Damn it, lower than that. Down at the bottom. They suck right now. Horrible.
In case you haven't heard, the Democrat Party is struggling so bad right now that sports analyst, sports commentator Stephen A. Smith is being considered as a Democrat candidate for presidency in 2028. And I'm not joking. I'm not playing around. His name is being thrown out there, as well as with ghetto Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and even AOC. Now, this is what lets you know that the Democrat Party has not only started the downslide, they're, like Stephen A. said, at the bottom. When they go reach out for somebody with no political background who makes a living commentating about sports to be the candidate for their party. If anything, that should let every Democrat know that Kamala Harris was nothing more than a scam. So in this video, I'm going to let Stephen A. explain to you exactly what his thoughts are about him being considered as a candidate for the Democrat candidate for presidency in 2028. Now, I want you to remember something. If you want to know why the Democrat Party is in shambles, I want you to take a quick look. This is a quick few-second clip of exactly how they even elect and select their leadership. Check this clip out, and then we'll get back, and I'll get to the clips on Stephen A. Check this out.
As you know, our 3 at-large vice chair positions are used to ensure gender balance among 7 offices: treasurer, secretary, national finance chair, and vice chair for civic engagement and voter participation, and the 3 at-large vice chairs. Our rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week, but I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent. As we must elect a candidate of any gender as well as 1 male and 1 female vice chair, we will first ask members to elect a candidate of any gender on the first ballot. Any candidate, male, female, and non-binary, can be elected on that ballot. After a candidate is elected on the first ballot, we'll have 1 officer of the 3, so then we will know which position is filled of the 1 male, 1 female, and 1 vice chair of any gender. Our second ballot would also be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the 3rd position that is remaining based on the 2 results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected. Additionally, pursuant to our rules, our unsuccessful candidates for vice chair of civic engagement and voter participation will automatically be included as candidates for these vice chair positions, unless they indicated otherwise on their nominating statement.
So as you just heard and you saw, the lunacy that's going on in the Democrat Party, is there any wonder why Stephen A. Smith has popped up as a candidate for the DNC? Now, I'm going to let Stephen A. break down to you what his thoughts are on him running for the biggest office in the world, the President of the United States. Check out this clip from Stephen A.
And now the latest is courtesy of TMZ. Now, mind you, USA Today, Washington Post, various other publications have written about this as well. Stephen A. Smith, I am not running for U.S. president. This is when TMZ caught me coming out of a Shannon Sharp's party in New Orleans during Super Bowl week. And I guess they ran this recently. And I wanted to go there because I wanted to make sure that I put this to bed once and for all. I have no intentions of running for the presidency of the United States of America. I do not believe I am an aficionado. I do not believe that my pockets are deep enough for me to ignore the financial strain that could potentially have on me. There's a reason that while saying what I've said and meaning it, I've often said, even in a half-joking way, if the American people wanted me to be the president of the United States and I knew that I had a really, really good shot to win, I can't deny that it's something I would consider. Let me tell you why I say that. Because I think our system sucks. Let me tell y'all something. If you're the Democrats, that's why Stephen A. Smith is in the news. Because y'all don't have anybody. You don't have anybody. Who you got? Who you got? Kamala Harris better not run. She better not run. She's not going to win the presidency in 2028. Keep in mind, respect for her. I'm not going to disrespect the former vice president of the United States. I will never do that. But we got to be real about something here. When she ran for election on her own, she couldn't make it to Iowa in 2020.
If you're enjoying this video and you like the content, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, that is currency. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On this channel, I share political and current events and selling techniques and tips. So subscribe to the channel. And when you do, hit the notification bell and select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos.
She ultimately positions herself against the vice presidency. They win the election in 2020. Joe Biden is feeling himself after the liberals won the midterms. And instead of being a transitional president like he promised, the man backstabbed the Liberal Party and turned around and said, I'm staying. They wanted him out. So what did everybody, we all know this now. Boo Boo the Fool can see what happened now. You knew he had lost a step. We don't know what the hell was wrong with him, but clearly his fastball was gone. So you have no primary. You fix it so he doesn't have to face a primary. And then you put him on stage last June 27th for a debate. He embarrasses himself, and 3 weeks later, he has to bow out so Kamala Harris could come in as a Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America at a time when they didn't have any time to put somebody else in to compete with her.
You know, Stephen A. trips me out. Like, he has all this vitriol for the process when he was a part of the process. And see, people like Stephen A., this is why he'll never be taken seriously as any type of politician. Well, maybe so, because he's good at grifting too. He was all on Team Blue 2 years ago, a year ago. But when he saw the tide turning, I mean, remember, the man makes his money speaking on sports and hip hop culture, and he knows how to check the temperature of the people. One thing Stephen A. does, he keeps his ear to the street. And it don't matter white people, black people, Stephen A., he knows how to relate and communicate with young people. And he knew the tide was turning. So he started shifting. But one thing about Stephen A., every time you think he's taking 2 steps forward, waking up and realize that the Democrats are libtards, he always has to take 1 step backwards because he works for ESPN, which is owned by Disney, which, as we all know, is far left. So in order to appease his bosses, he can't go too far to the right. He can't play too hard. You know, so always notice Stephen A. will make you say, oh, man, Stephen A. is waking up. But in that same conversation, when you think he's having that epiphany, he's got to do something to take that 1 step back. Just pay attention, watch, I'm telling you. But he didn't say all of this. Like he said, rigged primaries. They've been rigging Democrat primaries for years. They did it to Bernie in 2016. They did it again in 2024 to Dean Phillips, to Marianne. They gave RFK Jr. a media block. They didn't even allow him on the ballots. But they wanted Trump off so bad, the media was all on Trump. They never focused on the fact that the Biden administration did the same thing to RFK and kept him off the ballots. He took them to court for that. But the media, again, it was a media blackout. So they suppressed that story. But dig and look at RFK's lawsuit against the Biden administration for suppressing him, for election interference, keeping him off the ballot. I'm telling you, it's mind-blowing.
You don't overcome that after losing the election. America ain't going to go for it on the left. They ain't going to go for it. Who else you got? Hakeem Jeffries? I personally support Westmore, the governor of Maryland, but I don't know how much of a national figure he is. I already interviewed Josh Shapiro.
When he just brought up Hakeem Jeffries, I know I'm going to pause it right there. I want you to check out what Hakeem Jeffries had to say about Stephen A. Smith becoming a Democrat Party candidate for presidency.
Leader, I have a question about messaging as well. I don't know if you've seen the buzz building about Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN personality, and running for president. I'm wondering what you make of that and what you think it might say about how effectively Democrats are messaging at this time.
2028 is way off in the distance. House Democrats are engaged in an hour-by-hour, day-to-day, week-to-week struggle on behalf of the American people in the context of the first 100 days and beyond.
Do you think
There's a lot to like about Stephen A. Smith, including the fact that we are both diehard Knicks fans.
So you heard there Hakeem Jeffries' response to being asked by a reporter how he feels as the Democrat minority leader, how he feels about Stephen A. Smith being a candidate for presidency. That's embarrassing. That's how weak the leadership is within the Democrat Party right now, that reporters are not even afraid to ask such an insulting question of the minority leader in front of the country. But let me let Stephen A. Smith finish cooking.
Josh Shapiro. And oh, by the way, to the Republicans listening out there, you're welcome to come on the Stephen A. Smith show. I'm not one-sided. See, this is why my name is in the election. You hear me, Griff? You hear me, Wes? You hear me, Sherry? You hear me, Rashad? You hear me? The Stephen A. Smith team I'm talking to. That's why I'm in the news. I'm not in the news because I'm here. I'm in the news because the Democratic Party is here. Damn it, lower than that. Down at the bottom. They suck right now. Horrible. Because they don't have a voice. Where the hell is the voice? Everybody want to sit up there and talk about, we don't need a voice. 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 Well, guess what? Somebody got to send a message. How the hell can somebody receive a message if there's no messenger? You got to do it. And they don't have anybody. That's why Stephen A. Smith is a candidate. Who the hell told y'all I'd want to be a Democrat? I have conservative ideas. I believe in free market capitalism. I believe in patrolling our borders. I believe in strong national security. But you are right. I'd probably be a Democrat.
See how Stephen A. was just saying all these positive things where you like, right on, Stephen A., yeah. And then he always has to take that step back to make sure that the Democrat plantation knows he ain't strayed too far.
A moderate, a centrist leaning left. So I'm just saying to y'all, that's why I'm a candidate. It ain't because I want to. It ain't because I'm some expert. It ain't because I'm some aficionado who's saying that I know more. You know how much I would have to learn? Hell, I don't even know how to pronounce most foreign dignitaries' names. The sad part is that I'd still beat any Democrat out there right now. Because who the hell is resonating with the American people? I have no interest in getting involved. More so than pundency and commentary. But you better hope I stay feeling that way. Because let me tell you something right now. I said I'll bring the rain. I lied. I'd bring hell.
Now, what's scary about him saying that is knowing how a lot of these Democrats really don't believe in God. And I don't know if Stephen A. was just, saying this. And I believe I kind of get the context that he's using it. But knowing the association between the Democrat Party, Hollywood, a lot of the things that's going on in the past, present, involving different groups and associations, whether it be Diddy, whether it be Epstein, and some of their attacks on Christianity. Stephen A. making statements like that is one thing that would always have me looking at any Democrat in a certain way. I would want to know what their beliefs are. I really would. I think that matters. One's lived experience does matter, and their ability to be an effective leader. Because if you don't have any morality about you, you're willing to do anything for any reason. But if you have some faith and a belief in something that's bigger than yourself, that is about helping and uplifting people, I feel a lot more comfortable with that than anything else.
Hell. Because I ain't playing. You think I like what I see Elon Musk doing? I don't know whether I like it or not. I don't know if he can be trusted. I don't like the fact that he's getting billions from our federal government while he's doing business on behalf of the president, and the president is talking about, I'll police him myself. I'll watch him. Well, I'm supposed to trust that? No. But President Trump has a right to do it because he won.
Look at what he does.
Because y'all didn't beat him. Because while he was talking about the economy, and he was talking about the price of goods, and he was talking about inflation, and he was talking about our borders, and he was talking about crime in the streets, the Democrats was talking about LGBTQ and transgender rights and 1% of the population at the expense. See, and this is the part that I want to make sure I'm clear about. This was the crime. It's not that they were talking about transgender rights. It's that they forgot 13% of the population in the black community, and they forgot nearly 20% of the population in the Hispanic community who supported them at the expense of the 1%. How stupid can you be?
Now, Stephen A. spoke some truth there. So I wanted to jump in. This is a thing. It's actually trending right now. Stephen A. Smith as a candidate for the Democrat Party. That party is in the tank. So I appreciate you watching this video. I'm Brian Maxwell. If you haven't already, hit that like button, share this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Other than that, thank you again. And I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.